One, just look at some of the perks of this chart here. Remember, cage works for major and minor shapes. The string shapes that we're going to look at are the long string shapes and the shorts. The long string shapes, the 5A string shape or A5, it doesn't matter, RE, ER, 4C, C4, A5, 5A is the same long string shape. A's 5, 6, 7, ER is root 2, 3 or RE, 4C or C4. This is just an older label that I threw on there. And it's important to know that 2, 3, 4 is the D string shape, but it can be labeled as 2D. G can be labeled as G6 or 6G. C can be labeled as 3C or C3. Okay, but the C4 string shape is the long one. So 4, 5, 6, we've got the root string shape, root 2, 3, we've got the A string shape 5, 6, 7. We've got the short A is just 5, 6. We have the E string shape is 7, root 2. These are all white keys, all the ivories. We got the C string shape is 3, 4, 5. We have the G string shape is 6, 7, root. And we have the D string shape is 2, 3, 4. These are the shorts. These are the longs. And in the long pattern build, which is over here, we must include the shorts on top of the longs, but we have to do these longs so we can play away from the fret nut. So the A shape is going to play into what shape? What's the word cage? What's the next letter after A? G. It's going to play into the G string shape. So see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This would be the top string of an A build here on the long A, but we would have to warp this over here like this. Okay, so this would be our long A box string shapes, cage, if you will. This would be the fret nut down here. So that would be similar to putting the capo on the G here, and we'd go 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root. We played right into that G. So let's not get bogged down by the string shapes. This is the 10 string pattern stack. So we can start at 7 and go to 7, and again we'd have to warp that over. We brought the top 2 strings over, but we had to have 10 strings so we can go 7 to 7. Putting it back. We can go 3 to 3 here for a Phrygian box. In that case, we're not going to be looking at the top part. So this is why it's nice to show the pattern stack in 10 strings, so we can get all 5 cage shapes, and here's the numbers. But this is the D string shape with the D2 there. Okay, so that's a little review on the string shapes, long and the shorts, but we're also going to be looking at those string shapes in the block pattern, in the cage, the expanded cage wall. So here they are. I mean, this is taken right out of the caged wall here. So we would have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4. It's just taken out so you can see it. Here's the shorts, here's the longs, but it's all part of this big caged wall. If we're looking for where the string shape's going, for instance, looking at A, to go to the E string shape would be its 5th. To go to the D string shape would be its 4th. To go to the right, we would go to the G shape. To go to the left, we would go to the C shape. Okay, so In root, the A shape starts on the 5, okay, the C shape starts on the 3, the G shape starts on the 6. So these are pentatonic inversions. Okay, so the A is like the third inversion of a pentatonic scale. The C shape is the second inversion of a pentatonic scale. And the G shape is like the fourth inversion of a pentatonic scale. Alright, so that's how that works right and left, and we're going to be exploring that motion heavily. So this is in the C box. We have the C long A box here. Now let's look at that box. This chart, which is 504, has the colors make it easy to follow how these things are brought out. So this motion chart right here, where we start with the CA shape. So let's get on the C shape, which would be where you're tuned. So we've got our regular cage, C shape C right there, regular cage there. The A shape would be the next shape up. Now this is important to get this, but it's not important enough to worry about. When we're going from the A shape to the DC, for the second, we're going up a pentatonic scale. So C goes to D in a pentatonic scale. When we're going down to the 6 minor, we're going ahead in the word caged, but in the English system we read the word cage from right to left. So it's not a good example. We're going to see in 505 how I've kind of fixed this. But that's the action going from these string shapes or these cage shapes. They're the same thing. C is 3, 4, 5, A is 5, 6, D is 2, 3, 4. So 3, 4, 5 goes to 2, 3, 4 in a pent. And we'll see how that works. The C string shape is 3, 4, 5. The next shape up, 2, 4, 6. Okay, is ahead in the pentatonic scale. Okay, but 2, 4, 6 is less than 3, 4, 5. So it's going down, but it's going up. Okay, so the C string shape, we're using the white notes in a pentatonic scale. Each note is a cage shape. Okay, so the C string shape's 3, 4, 5, but the D string shape, where we go up in a pentatonic scale, is actually going down in the actual string shape, the D string shape 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have C string shape 3, 4, 5 going to D string shape 2, 3, 4 is actually going down. The Phrygian goes down to the Dorian, kind of thing like that. Here's your Phrygian third, here's your Dorian. Okay, but C goes to D, goes up in a pentatonic scale. That's why we say we go up in pentatonic scale. Now I've explained it a little bit in too much detail there. In the next chart, 505, I've kind of nailed it down to, make it look simpler. So we're going up a pentatonic scale here. Here's the Ionian, here's the Dorian, here's the Phrygian, here's the Lydian, here's the Mixolydian, here's the Aeolian, here's the Locrian, and we have C, D, E. These are grouped together. The Lydian and the Locrian are the same shape. In the C box, we have the E minor shape, which is the Phrygian rather, and we're going to an E major shape for the Lydian fourth. Alright, and the same thing kind of exists with the C shape, and then bringing it down for the 7th. But this, we're not going to worry about that because we know how to get that diminished 7th now by going up 1 caged and then reducing from there. So we're going to trace back this diagram to over here. So starting from the C, we're actually going up in the strings to the 5th shape. We go down in the strings to the 4th shape. Perhaps in the next chart I'm going to make these directional diagrams a little more, where we're going to have the circles here for all of them.